G, cast by
Innovation versus Zest.
And here on Frost to the top left, we have the talent player in blue starting once again. It is Innovation for Team Acer. He's 0-1 in this series against his Protoss opponent. On Polar Knight, Zest starting to the top right. Went for a blink all-in and was able to take his opponent down. Innovation not accounting for the rocks in the back and found himself without a bunker to support his defense. Losing the first game and needs to win 2 in a row if he wants to advance to the winners match.
Yeah, he needs to win 2-0, or roll 2 in a row. Like you said, he's going to take a 2-0 on these next 2 games.
It's basically the same thing.
He's on his last life here. And, you know, it's very, very tense for him. I like that, you know, in video games when you have no lives left, I like at the top right it says like X0. It's like you have no extra lives. You have 1 life, of course. That's the last life you have, but just seeing that 0 in the corner is the scariest thing. And that's the 0 we see at the top left here of the overlay with the Innovation. One life left, and here comes the Zest Scout. He gets a lucky Scout. We'll actually identify that not only his opponent's at the top left, but he can harass the CC first with that probe. So this is very unlucky for Innovation.
Yeah, and Innovation, I mean, this is one of his best matchups, but so far he still has to show that. And for him, if he seems to be a little bit vulnerable to those blink attacks, those blink all-ins, just because they are so strong and so difficult to beat. You need to commit to your defense immediately, but so many Protoss players will actually try to exploit that by just faking it and going into a much stronger defense on the back of it. So it's really difficult to make that call, which is why we see oftentimes just Reapers going in again, having a scan dropped a little bit later just to confirm that there's really a commitment and not just a fake out.
Yeah, it's really important to see that third base. If you see the third next going up, you go, oh, okay, he's going to pressure me. That's really scary, but I don't have to commit all the bunkers here. And that's the map. There's so many different locations. There's the ice. There's the blinks into the main. There's a blink into the natural from lower ground. There's the blink from the left side into the main. Like, it's just... It's a tough map to defend Blink. Right now, Blink is so strong in Heart of the Swarm, and this is the reason why Blink research time was increased. I don't know if you guys remember, in the beta, there was a huge patch that made Blink research take way longer than Wings of Liberty. It's because you don't need an observer now for vision. All you need is the Mothership Core, so... And we're going to see DTs, I think, this time. Could be an Oracle, too. I don't know. Actually, I guess for this map...
It's probably an Oracle because he would have dropped that pylon a little bit later if it was really DTs. Like, oftentimes when you see that, you will still have the Twilight Council in the main base, but with the timing here, it looks more like he wants to use the Stargate immediately after the Cybernetics Core is done.
It's not even going to get Warp Gate research to start the Stargate first. And
well, let's see. The pylon is done, and there's the Stargate. Alright, so far unscouted, and it doesn't really look like Innovation is going to double check on this position since he's still trying to find out where exactly Zest spawned. So for now it's all about can that Oracle get into a mineral line and really wreak havoc? Will there be Marines already present? Will he have enough Marines? And will he maybe even be on the way already to get an engineering bay and then a missile turret? The defense for Innovation is now everything, and with his scout and the late of a scout, it might completely blindside him and find him in a spot where he can't even recover. If he takes too many losses there, he might not be able to get back into the game.
This SCV is so frustrated because he knows that at this timing in the game, he's basically just giving up because he's like, well, you are going to have a Stalker out. I'm not even going to be able to get into your main base, see anything. So I might as well just leave the SCV here. And Innovation keeps his units on his main base. He has the bunker up the front. He knows his opponent's spawning location, so the angle of attack by ground is known to him.
Yeah, and also he thinks that most likely if there is actually no proxy but just a building in the main base, then he knows where the Oracle is going to come from, and that would be from the top right and not from the bottom left. So he kind of tries to intercept the units on that path into the mineral line. But at the natural, there's not too much, and the Oracle is moving in already. There are only 3 Marines, and that is not a lot, so he needs to be so careful. There goes the first Marine. We also have a Scout going up to the top right, immediately taken out. Oracle trying to find a few holes in the main base that he can exploit, but nothing just yet. So 3 SCVs and 1 Marine.
Yeah, and that's not the best trade for the Oracle, but he gets some information with this as well, and the threat is always going to be there.
Lost some mining time too, and gets the scouting off, can always just bounce around a little bit and try to find out if there's something else that he can kill.
Twilight Council going down here, Zest getting his +1 armor. And with the Twilight Council coming up, we'll be able to get his tech up very quickly. Going to go into charge, most likely. And he's just hoping that he can find a group of Marines that are away from, you know, just 4 Marines by themselves, or units that are popping out of the barracks to kill.
Yeah, just an SCV building maybe a command center, maybe a factory, whatever it is, just sniping one of the building SCVs. And here we go, the follow-up already, starting with additional gateways, getting the production up to par. The Twilight Council is nearly completed. Oracle still roaming the map, trying to find some easy pickoffs.
Yeah, I think he's going to drop Templar Archive and research charge right away. Probably charge going down first. And no, Templar Archive goes up first because he wants to be able to have charge zealots and archons. If he wants to be aggressive, he can do that. But at the same time, he can take his third base with it. It's a very safe way of playing because it's got 2 uses. One is defensively, if you want to take your own third base, and one is if you scout that innovation has a fast third, you just keep him from landing it while you take up yourself, and you have this aggressive time you can use him. Wow.
Yeah, talking about aggression.
Yeah, he's really going to commit to this one. He's going to have +2 armor, some archons, and mostly charge zealot army.
That's a lot of production facilities that he has there. So a lot of production power, and there comes a scan, and that was dropped in the main base, and he sees all the gateways, and that is amazing for innovation, because now he knows exactly what's going on there. On the other hand, the first thing that he does after that scout is drop a 3rd CC.
Yeah, I think he's like thinking one step ahead. He's thinking, okay, well now that I've scouted you, you're probably going to take a third base, so let me just go ahead and drop my third, but I'm going to still play safe. That was annoying, having to stim there. He will get a medevac out early. Or very quickly, so he's not going to have to be scared that he'll lose his Marines to the Oracle now that he's stimmed. But we'll see how this gets played by Zest, because I don't know how much he's really going to commit to an attack like this now that he's been scouted so blatantly.
Well, he goes back into pro production from now on.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mystery here, right? I mean, it's just like, well, obviously this is what you're doing. Hero Revelation, there it is, a bit slow, but he does get it off on all of those units, especially in the medevacs, most crucially.
Yeah, so much for that troll.
I mean, he's still going to go over there with it and see if his visible drop is defended. Feedbacks are there for the ready.
Well, immediately the afterburner is out of there.
Worth a shot, you know, as long as you don't get too far close in there. You might as well see. Did you just think I was not going to drop since I revealed you? I'm testing you.
It actually works out for innovation. If Zest would have committed, he could have done so much damage here, but then he sees the scouting and says like, alright, I'm going to go back into the pro production.
No, he's going to be able to drop a 3rd Nexus whenever he wants to. In fact, he probably should soon. He doesn't know that that information, though. He doesn't know how quickly innovation has actually teched into, or rather gone into that CC. Or actually, I think his Oracle may have seen it there on the edge. But regardless, he's just playing this safe, and he doesn't have to rush out another base. This is how Protoss versus Terran works. You get tech up first, and then you worry about your minerals and your mining at your 3rd base later, because then you can do whatever you want against the Terran. If you get to that composition where you have Templar and Colossi, then it doesn't matter anything else that you do as long as you can keep that composition alive and fight with it.
Finally spotted the proxy Stargate and can take that out bit later, but now he has to deal with the War Prism that's heading towards his main base and is natural. That's one of the concerns that he will have to deal with very soon.
Oh my god,
there come the storms, and they were really good. 13 Harvester kills now.
People are really starting to utilize Warp Prism drops in Heart of the Swarm with Templars so much more.
We were so excited when we saw that used by Creator on Cloud Kingdom back in the days against like Curious. There was one like really nice style that he played there, but since then we haven't seen that all that much. So and Seed also used that back then, but right now it's something that becomes so much more common.
Yeah, it's true, and when we've seen it for crazy things, we've seen it for players just trying to force Marines to try to stim and kill it, then Templar drop out and kill the whole group of Marines. So we've seen all sorts of stuff like that.
I think actually the game that I remember was Alicia playing.
There was a game with Killer too where he did it. So there's a lot of games like that. So, but still, back then I knew exactly the game you're talking about. The first one where we saw it, where it was like really late game and it was crazy. Definitely Curious was the Zerg.
It's just something that didn't happen for a long time, and Protoss player started to do that more and more often, and now it's kind of standard.
Yeah, this is a really awkward position for Zest right now because he knows his third base is a little bit later than he would like it, but he still has the tech to defend. And this is why the Innovation Army is so careful here, and he does not overcommit to running in. He's not pulling the sky high here either, just trying to kill his Templar.
Yeah, so far the Vikings shutting down that War Prism, and at the same time a bit of an awkward spot for the Innovations Army here. Caught a bit off guard. And the Warp Prism goes down, can't do anything about that. Another Time Warp being used here. And Innovation pulling his army together, making sure that he has a good spot to fight. Spreading his units out, trying to dodge those storms, doing a good job at that. More and more forces coming to play. Another storm hits home.
This is not looking good, though. I mean, his Bioforce had a good concave, but he doesn't have enough. And there's reinforcing Zealots coming through here. The Immortals at the back, but reinforcements here coming from the left side of Innovation as well. Does he have enough? He's kiting back here. It's just the Immortals that are the big problem for him, plus the Mothership Core is on the chase.
Immortals still surviving and also taking down a huge chunk of units. And Zest, on the other hand, drops still in overall supply. He's 128 against 137 right now. But the Bioforces for Innovation nearly healed up again, and the Terran player is going for the second attack.
Really concerning for Innovation is a lot of his army supplies in those medevacs, which if storms hit twice, you know, the medevacs will never be able to heal the units in time. Storms like this one that are decent. He needs another storm though on this Bioforce. He wants to take this fight. The Vikings looking a little bit puny, a little bit useless here, but the kiting from Innovation is incredible.
Nice stutter step here. The Time Bomb on the other hand hits every single unit, and those Immortals immediately catch up with the Marauders, getting their shots off. A Colossi to join that battle too, but we have the Protoss player dropping in army supply. A storm could change that on the other hand, and two of them hit immediately.
Yep, two of them hit immediately. Zealots running in, that Colossus at the back a little bit timid. Just so heavy in the Marauders here, he needs a group of Zealots to warp in. Yeah, he's got the Immortals, but still, the Immortals alone need support. +2 attack on the way here, as +3 for Innovation is about to finish. He's got a crazy amount of upgrades here.
And he goes in once again. The charge from the Zealots has already been activated. Innovation with a stutter step once more. He has the medevac count to really back this up. 14 in total. Here comes that Colossi though, and he doesn't really have a lot of Vikings. He has not a single one to contest the Colossus.
Yep. He's got no answer for this. He lost it earlier. His medevac count is insane though, 14. He's got as many medevacs as he does Marauders. Actually has more. Each medevac has a personal Marauder it has to take care of. And
once again trying to send two of them in to maybe snipe one of the High Templars.
Just trying to do what he can. I mean, his army is always going to be at full health with the medevac count he has right now. He's just got to be so on top of making sure that he dodges the storms. His Bioforce is tiny, and no amount of kiting is going to save him if the Zealots get behind his army for 1 second and get stormed. And here we go, drop over here at the natural. Another warp into Zealots should actually push us back easily with a cannon. And Innovation eats a storm here. Feedback's going down on all of his medevacs. That was a bit sloppy. His drop, on the other hand, is not completely dealt with. He needs a storm. There it is.
Yep, oh my god, the second storm takes down the rest of the army. He wasn't able to kill too much there. But still, the Protoss player was struggling there for a bit, but the storm's really changing the tides of the battle. Suddenly it's the Protoss player who gets there ahead in army supply, and also his upgrades are starting to catch up with Innovation.
With all the medevacs on the map, he still has 10 left after losing some of those. I feel like if you're Zest at this point, you might want to consider making double Stargate from Phoenixes to start killing these medevacs, because every single fight, he wins the ground fight, and the medevacs just boost away, sometimes saving a few of the Marauders. Upgrade-wise, Innovation is ahead, rare as it is in this matchup. The Storms will ignore that upgrade, but don't forget that the Zealots, they really want that +3 attack. They don't have it, and Innovation is just always attacking, and Zest is always on the defensive. He's not able to get any Warp Prisms out. He's not able to get any harassment done. Finally starts that 4th base. That's something that he's really been wanting for quite some time now. This drop over here, this ground force spot, it's going to have the high ground over this 3rd base.
Yeah, but the Protoss player is just moving in. He wants that 3rd base, and he's going for it. And there is nothing to defend. At the same time, Innovation is ready to trade. He's trying to move into the 4th of his opponent, but can he really take that out in time? Because suddenly Zest decides that it's time for him to move into the main base, or at least the natural, with half of his army. It's time for the Terran player to make a decision here, and it looks like Innovation wants to go for a base race.
Yeah, going for the base race. This ramp is controlled on the other hand by High Templar. It's never a good place to be. Those storms are excellent, killing so many Bioforces. Both players now supply block. Production will stop.
A problem for Innovation is going to be if Zest has a few High Templars back at home that he can use for additional storms. The 3rd base of the Terran player is already gone, and the natural is also already destructed. So with the Mothership Core that he has, he could always recall back, I guess, if he still has the energy on it. I just don't see it. There it is.
Yeah, I think he's going to recall. He's going to recall to his 4th base and trap these units. Well, yeah, if once he gets enough energy. Well, he loses it now.
He goes down.
So here's something that may come to pass in this game. Terran buildings can fly, and Protoss buildings can't. He's still mining from one of his bases. He doesn't have any production.
I don't think so. I don't think that Innovation knows about this base. I'm pretty sure actually he doesn't. And what Zest could do is always send approaches anywhere on the map and build another one. He has 1,200 minerals, so I don't think that the flying ability will actually matter.
He's going to need to eliminate this base if he wants to actually just run and win the game. He's going to kill this, but he doesn't know about the base down there.
I am pretty
now
sure
he
that
knows
has no
because
idea.
now he knows because the probes are going in that location that there's going to be some other base. You know, there's no way the probes all went in that direction just coincidentally as the Nexus died because Zest told them to. He's got to realize there's a base over there, and all the probes are pulled from the base.
Innovation, or Zest should at least save a few of his probes, and that's exactly what he does. And with all the resources that he has,
He could just take Innovation's old base now.
it's just a matter of like which army can beat, can win the fight, because it's now 60 against 43 supply, and here comes Zest already starting another one. But he's really on the ropes here. I mean, Innovation, he's already 0-1 in the series. He cannot lose this game if he wants to go to the winner's match.
He could possibly still win a fight, even though the army supply is in favor of Zest, because it's an army that... The problem is the Colossus, really. The two Colossi, and with only 3 Vikings, it's going to be tough for him to win. He brings his buildings over to tank to mess up the AI. I still don't think he can win the fight. You know, it's something that he can do. Innovation is like the one person that might make it work.
Keep the probes in mind. He can fight with the probes too. That's 33 of them. In overall supply, that is 93 against 54. And in this scenario, it really matters. If you have those probes at the front to tank damage.
Did he just drop mules to tank? I think he did. It didn't work out for him. He loses some of his units already. That storm is a little bit annoying, but it's not the best storm ever. Scans to try to identify the location of the Protoss units. One thing he could try to do is kill the Nexus and then lift up and then do this repeatedly, but I don't think it's going to work. He doesn't have a lot of anti-air. That's my only concern for...
He knows that he is on a clock here, and what is he going to do? He's flying in with the barracks and trying to soak up some damage here. But for how long is that going to work? He's going for the Nexus, at least he's trying to. He's moving in. Here come those Colossi doing their damage. The Vikings are trying to approach, but they're immediately being pushed back. And at the front, the probes are soaking up some damage while the Colossi are moving in. Another stim by Innovation. He's moving back the charge lots on the hunt.
He doesn't have enough, man. This is not looking good for Innovation. Just way too much DPS in this Protoss army. Even though he's Marauder heavy, the probes tank, the Zealots tank as well. The Archons getting their shots off.
It's way too much damage. I mean, this is 32 against 40 army supply granted, but at the same time, it's 26 additional probes to soak up more and more of those shots. And every single unit that goes down works against Innovation. The composition is just so much better for Zest, and once again, the Protoss player moves in.
No, this is way too much. The Stalkers on the chase here now can go in and just finish it off. Manor Nexus queued up, and Innovation falls 0-2. Will go to the loser's match. It's Zest who takes it. GG.
Wow, a quick 2-0 by Zest and Innovation in the loser's match.
That game was really well played by Innovation, but he basically decided to base trade against a Protoss who had so much AoE. And the Protoss was already on his doorstep. And the thing is, I think he decided to do it because he knew that if he turned around, there could just be a recall after all of his infrastructure, or at least his bases, are cleaned up. He just recalls home and then,
well, another point is he didn't know about that base. He did not know that there was actually a 4th base for his opponent.
That gave him enough money to rebuild the Nexus.
If I really quickly just take down his bases, he is also going to run short on money, and that was not the case. There was just so much more money that Zest could use to establish himself a new base. At that point, Innovation wasn't under so much pressure to really go for the fight, so... Unfortunate for Innovation and for Terran players, but we have the only Terran player in the group dropping to the losers match, where he will face another Protoss player and has to prove himself once again. Our next match is going to be a PvP, and that's going to happen in about 5 minutes after another short commercial break. So guys, stay tuned, and then we're going to find out who Innovation will face in the losers match and who's going up against Zest in the winners match here at the GSL Code.